9 o'clock straight up here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Jane Monreal. What a glorious morning we are seeing as we take this Tuesday in. Enjoy it. We are in the middle of a little warm stretch, but it is early March. So let's go ahead and bring in Majestic Storm here in the Live Impact studio on WCNC Plus. Big story that today is the weather and how lovely it is, Majestic.
It's so pretty. It is so nice. It's going to be really warm today. Are you ready for the heat?
I'm ready.
Yes.
We have been ready.
You guys have been ready.
We're born ready for heat.
You're ready. You're never not ready for it, right?
I mean, when it gets outrageous, like 99 and 90% humidity.
What's your favorite, perfect degree? What's your perfect temperature?
Probably 80.
80, yeah.
Like
I'm right around 80,
high of 80. If it's a high of 80,
yeah.
If it starts out 80, then I know we're doomed for a
I get
sweltering day, and that's a little much.
Yeah.
But if it's a high of 80,
yeah,
that's
I'm like 83,
nice.
84 because that's splish splash weather.
Yes.
I like that.
yeah, I can go as high as 85.
Yes.
On a warm 85 day.
Oh yeah.
Not a problem.
Yep.
But you put me at 78 and dry. I'm loving that.
See,
too.
I like 78, but I think summertime that's too cool.
So yes, for
Do
some,
you?
yeah,
Okay,
exactly,
but,
yeah.
you're
But
right about now, this
those
is perfect.
70-degree
Right now?
days,
Okay.
I'm feeling that.
I'm loving it. Well, yesterday we topped off at 80 degrees. Today we're going to bring the heat even more. And today's big weather story is we're talking about record warmth today. 84 degrees this afternoon. Not just today, but tomorrow as well. We have a lot to talk about because it's not just all about the warm conditions, but we're also going to have the possibility, of course, looking at our full forecast for rain, some storms, then eventually a big cool down on the way again. Live camera look coming in outside. It's so beautiful out there. We have a lot of sunshine, and thankfully today we didn't have that fog like we were dealing with yesterday. We've kind of been in that weather pattern where we start out the day with really kind of overcast conditions and it takes a while for that sunshine to come out. And today that's just not really the case too much. It's really pretty from Lake Norman to Dallas. It's looking good. So a few things as we're looking at our weather headlines today and tomorrow. It's all about record warmth. Low to mid 80s returning. I think even by tomorrow, some areas will be nearing 90 degrees. This is wild, and a big factor for that is because southwest winds, they're going to be ramping up. Some of our winds gusting even over 30 miles an hour tomorrow. So a very windy Wednesday ahead, but because those winds are moving in from the southwest, that helps to usher in the warmer air, and overall that explains why our temperatures are way warmer than where they should be. Remember, we should be into those low 60s. Then as we're heading into Thursday, that's going to be the day where you need to plan for rain. Heading out the door, driving to work, getting kids to school Thursday, it is going to be wet. Wet for the first half of the day, windy and cooler. And then on Friday, pretty seasonal and heading into a beautiful weekend, at least for the first part. Current temperatures right now, 63 here in Charlotte, 61 in Charlotte, even looking good, feeling nice up there in the mountains, 58 there in Boone. As we're looking throughout the rest of our day today, I want to show you kind of your day planner so that you can help see what the rest of the day is going to be like. Again, staying very warm, a high of 84 degrees today, could even hit 85, and then just generally a really nice mix of sun and clouds. So that's here in Charlotte. Once we take you up into the mountains, 70 degrees in Banner Elk, 72 in Boone. The problem with the mountains is that we're watching this system that will likely clip you as we head into the afternoon, meaning some scattered showers and possibly some thunderstorms. Not everyone's going to see it. We'll walk you through a futurecast coming up first. They're coming up here soon, but first, let's continue with these temperatures. 84 degrees there in Morganton and Maiden, 83 there in Hickory, and then right around the Charlotte metro area, we're at 84 in Concord, Gastonia, even Lincolnton, and then to the south, look at this, Chesterfield, 86 degrees this afternoon. That's kind of hot. 83 in Chester. Overnight lows tonight will stay very mild, mainly dropping down only into the low to mid 60s. So heading out the door tomorrow, 65 degrees. Those kids will not need a big heavy jacket, really not anytime soon. Forecasted highs tomorrow. This is when we're really bringing that heat back. I'm talking mid to upper 80s for a Wednesday. 89 there in Chirac. As we're looking here in Charlotte, 86 is what we're aiming for. And even up in the mountains, it's going to be beautiful. 77 degrees there in Boone. So the next 2 days, all about the heat. Look at the next 10 days, though. So once we hit Thursday, remember that's our rainy day, we'll start to see temperatures drop down into the upper 60s. Still overall warm. It's not going to be that cold rain. Just not really a pretty day. On Friday, we rebound nicely, starting to see those temperatures still a little cooler, 64 degrees, but overall still slightly above our average high. This weekend, Saturday, 75 degrees and sunny. That's the day to do something outside. Sunday, a few more clouds, possibly some rain showers. And then St. Patrick's Day next weekend, a high of only 44 degrees. Now that one's going to hurt, and with those highs only reaching the 40s, those lows are also going to get very chilly. Over the next 10 days, let's talk about rain, because really after the record warmth today and tomorrow, then our next focus will be the rain on Thursday. Right now we have it set at 80%, so that means we think 80% of the viewing area will at least get some rain showers. Satellite and radar right now looks like this. Most of us look all right. We're watching the system, though, to the west, and that system is the one that could clip our mountain counties as we're heading into the afternoon, but could even bring some instability, enough energy for a few isolated storms to form, mainly south of Charlotte. There's that severe weather risk today. I mean, it is severe weather season right across the Mid-South. This is bringing in the ability for thunderstorms to create strong tornadoes, hail, strong damaging winds. You can see those states that are highlighted. Then as we're heading into Wednesday, Storm Prediction Center has a small portion of our viewing area highlighted under a low end risk, but let me walk you through the timing of it. We'll fast forward you, here's 6 o'clock tonight. So I would say anytime after 4 o'clock this evening, I think we'll start to see more clouds roll through, and then possibly some light scattered kind of random rain. Here's 7 o'clock though. You see those little cells that are starting to form? That'll be south of Charlotte. So within those isolated cells, it could be one of those random scenarios where one neighborhood neighborhood, you have that brief heavy downpour and some gusty winds. The storm's quick. It's here and then it's gone. It even lasts through 9 o'clock as well. But notice it's really south of Charlotte, but not that far south. From Rock Hill to Chester, even Lancaster, I would say be on the lookout for that later on tonight. Then our rain chances, they'll increase on Thursday. So Thursday is the day where basically all of us should be prepared for rain. 6 o'clock in the morning. So it's mainly an early day rainy event. It's going to be warm. It's going to be a little muggy. So rain showers start to move in. The environment is prime for not just wet weather conditions, but possibly some thunderstorms on Thursday as well. Right now we don't have any severe threat, but I would not be surprised to hear some rumbles of thunder Thursday morning. There's 9 o'clock, especially that cell that's south of Charlotte, that red there. We'll be watching that. Then it continues to scoot on over to the east. By Thursday afternoon, we'll be clearing things out very nicely. So mainly on Thursday, it's just the first half of the day that's going to be wet. Here's a Jerry Hunt Super Center 7-day forecast. So generally just a nice mix of sun and clouds. Our average high temperature, 62 degrees. Today, we're topping off at 84, so well above our average. As we're heading into our overnight lows tonight, they're going to be even warmer than our average highs should be. 65 tonight, that means heading out the door tomorrow will be very comfortable. 86 for our high, so again, some areas in our viewing area are going to be close to 90 degrees tomorrow. As we're heading through Thursday, that's our rainy day. I think Friday and Saturday look fantastic. Lots of different activities going on across town. It's going to be perfect to get outside and enjoy it. One thing I will point out is after we have the rain on Thursday, we have rain, we have clouds, almost 70 degrees, but by Friday morning, you'll want to grab a heavier layer because we'll be waking up to temperatures into the low to mid 30s. This is Friday morning. 30-degree temperatures before those temperatures look nice this weekend. Sunday, I think some rain showers will start to return, and that'll continue into Monday as well. So, ladies, we have a lot going on. Bottom line.
Okay.
Love it.
I've got tennis tonight.
Okay.
You do have a lot going on.
7 o'clock. I was like, okay, that storm's gonna move real quick because I need the court to.
Yeah,
be
and you'll
clean
be
and
a little,
dry.
you'll be more north, right, of
Yeah,
Charlotte.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
you'll be okay. I think
All
the
right.
storms that pop up more south of Charlotte.
All right.
Could you have a little more cloud coverage, a couple more sprinkles? Possibly, but I don't think it'll be anything.
Not a washout. It won't
No.
rain me out.
No, no, no.
Great.
Okay.
Get your swings in.
Look,
Yep.
she's talking about she's playing golf, she's doing tennis,
She's doing
You
all
know,
the things.
she's soaking up sunshine, drinking her wine. Jane's living the
leisurely.
life.
I'm trying to have my
Leisure.
My
best life.
goodness.
Trying
for
to do
you.
it.
Trying
while,
to find time to work.
while holding it down here in the Live Impact studio.
Right. You gotta have a life.
Got to have balance.
Right.
All
Good for
right.
you.
Yeah.
Also, I love the Mario dress.
It is Mario
It's
Day.
Mario Day.
Explain, Carlene, because I had to ask her
I
earlier
did too.
today.
I didn't get it.
Happy Mario Day. So it's March 10th. So it's MAR10 would be IO. So it's Mario Day.
That's
so
cute.
the Today Show video did a big thing about it. You're going to see tweets today.
Yeah.
Nintendo usually drops some sales, and they'll drop the trailer today for the Mario movie, which is April 1st.
First, I saw that
Mario Galaxy
trailer
movie.
movie commercial.
Very exciting for your girl.
Where
Yes.
did you
It's a
big
find
day.
this dress?
I was going to ask the same.
I found
Yes.
it online.
Yes. You can
There's a
find
cake
anything.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's
Right?
a company called Cake where they do all sorts of
Perfect.
licensed things.
Little
And
novelty.
I had to have it. Had to have it.
And the green jacket.
I had
Perfect.
The green
Where it's
jacket.
Luigi.
I got earrings on. I got
Look
my
at her.
Wait, hold on. Let me
Should
show.
my
Look at her
Mario.
go.
Hold on, get in there.
Get
Peach,
it's in there.
Mario. You know, you represent. You know.
We are well
have the
underdressed
merch.
today,
You know,
Jane. What
I
are
was-
we thinking?
I just
My
wore a
gosh.
black linen dress.
I'll bring props for next year.
Okay. Weren't you a Mario for Halloween or something before?
I've dressed. I mean, I've done it multiple times. When I
Okay.
got my Switch, I dressed as Mario. Me and Greg went Mario, Luigi. I have done that for Halloween. I've done. Yeah.
She's done it.
That's
I've done it.
That's
Yeah.
a cute Halloween
That's
idea.
dedication. So I
Yeah.
mean, we got all of the characters covered here.
It doesn't even need to be Halloween for me. I'll just.
Yeah, I love it. It's so cute.
Carlene has a different
I'll be
theme
dressed
every
up for the
day.
premiere. Don't worry.
We would expect nothing less.
Exactly. So fun. All right. Thank you. It's going to be a glorious day.
Yes,
we
it is.
like it, Majestic. Thank you so much.
Of course.
And enjoy the morning for sure. I'm going to try to get out for lunch a little bit at least.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Time right now is 9:14 here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Want to get you out to our state capitol here in North Carolina as the North Carolina General Assembly is meeting this morning. They have a joint legislative oversight committee hearing right now happening, talking on health and human services, on maternity and child care issues. Let's go ahead and listen in on Live Impact News.
Reporting of the lapsed salary. They're 124 days late as of March 4th, 2026, an average of 296 days late annually since 2017. We found that these reports are useful to this particular body, and certainly they're useful to the public in terms of the transparency of exactly what positions are vacant, and why is it important for this body? It's important for this body so that this body can see trends in the workforce, so that you can work with agencies across the board to look at where issues really are urgent with respect to needs that are not being met, and then also with respect to new things that need to be focused on. So with that, I know it's real quick, and as everybody on this committee knows, I can talk about this stuff forever, but I'm respectful of your time. I'm open to any questions, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Auditor. I forgot to recognize the Sergeant of Arms, Jonas Cherry in the House, Nina Lage, and David Little in the House, and in the Senate, Terry Barnhart, Tequila Cogden, and Mike Harris. Thank you all. I appreciate you staying within the time. We monitor that and audit that as well, Auditor Bullock.
Mr. Chairman, you got to watch me tight. I will go over time in a minute.
I don't have a lick of patience, so we ought to work good together on that. What we have intentionally made 10 minutes of presentation and tried to leave 20 minutes for questioning in each one, because we can often get more of the answers that we want if we do that. So this time I'll thank the auditor for his presentation and recognize Senator Bergen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Auditor, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thank you. First of all, you got full cooperation from the department. Everybody worked with you, gave you all the information you need, and we're attentive to your needs?
Yes, sir. The Secretary of DHHS is a valuable partner and is always cooperative, and his team works well with our team.
Great. I wanted to hear that. Thank you for saying it. I want to talk about SNAP benefits. You looked at it, and if you all want to flip back to that slide, you talked about the untimely delivery of those payments, and of course, one of the big concerns we have is the error rate with the upcoming potential losses that we're going to suffer. Did you get into any of that as you went through and did your audit of all things SNAP? Did you tell me a little bit about that, what you got into and what your thoughts are on that?
Yes, sir. Senator, we did not specifically focus on the error rate, but what we have done as a result of this particular audit, our team now has developed a template to be able to audit the SNAP program for specific areas. That is a focus that I know that many members of this body on both sides of the aisle have been concerned about, particularly with respect to the new design of the Medicaid funding model that will be coming from the federal government. And so our team stands ready to look at provider enrollment and whether people are actually eligible and what those eligibility standards are, and whether those standards are being met and how they're being met with respect to quality control at the local level, because those decisions are made at the county.
All right, we'll go back to that oversight hearing in Raleigh in just moments. First, we need to take a break here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Here at 9:21 on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus, March, the month of March, is National Kidney Month. And right now, more than 100,000 Americans are waiting for life-saving procedures, that kidney transplant, with about 13 people dying every day because a match never came. Atul Agnihatri is the CEO of Kidneys for Communities, a nonprofit connecting donors with those in need at no cost. Atul, thank you for joining us this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And so you received a kidney transplant yourself about 10 years ago. Take us to that moment and what was life like when you were waiting?
While I was waiting, I found out quite suddenly that I had a kidney failure. I was applying for some additional life insurance, and that's how I found out. And it was a miracle that I found a kidney within a few months of finding out that I had a kidney failure. And that those 2.5 months were quite dark for me because I had a young family. But I'm eternally thankful to the donor's family that made the choice to get me the kidney. I went back to my corporate life. I was working as a senior leader in a Fortune 500 company. And then after a few years, I felt that my calling was really to help other individuals in similar situation, other patients. And so I left my corporate life and decided to operate this nonprofit, Kidneys for Communities.
I mean, an amazing story and journey to where you are right now and having that higher calling, Atul. So a lot of people assume that a kidney donor comes from those who are deceased, but there are living kidney donors. Talk to us about that.
Yes, I think, again, to appreciate either families that are making decisions to donate kidneys upon death or organs upon death, as well as living kidney donors, both are equally important because there's a severe shortage of kidneys. There's 100,000 people waiting for a kidney donation on a kidney wait list right now. They will wait 5 to 7 years, during which time half of them would either die or would be too sick to be transplanted. So it's very important that any kind of donations coming our way. But living kidney donation tends to last about twice as long as a deceased kidney and has better outcomes. Also, when you donate a kidney while you're alive, you live the life of knowing that you have saved some individual, saved another human being. It's not, I would not make any light of this donation. You have 2 kidneys, and science has shown that one can live a very normal, productive, normal life with 1 kidney. My dad was a donor, and he lived till the age of 95.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so that just shows you it is quite possible. It says here 90% of people with kidney disease don't even know they have it. And your own experience, you didn't know you were having kidney failure. What are the warning signs and what did you experience?
I actually, funny thing is I've always been quite athletic, and so I was very careful, with my diet and body and everything, and I had a global role, so I have never really felt any difference, and that's one of the common things that we keep hearing from other patients is that the disease kind of just creeps on you. In some cases, you have swelling, you have fatigue, you have, your complexion changes and you start getting darker spots. But you start getting higher blood pressure. But in my case, there was none of those indications. I was traveling around the world and having a normal life, and I had a young family that I was enjoying, so it was quite a shock.
And so talk to us about Kidneys for Communities. How does your nonprofit work, and what is the community-based model like?
So we've studied the data quite extensively. We wanted to be an organization that creates direct impact on the number of kidney transplants in the country. When we looked at the data, we found that 96% of the individuals that have donated a kidney either donated to a family member or someone they have an affinity or identification with. And by that, what I mean is either they were wearing the same uniform as the recipient, or they went to the same church, or had the same belief system, or maybe went to the same high school. So as we studied where this, this emotion is the highest, we found that communities is where the emotion is the highest. So we started off with our program. We support a lot of communities, but I think particularly in this month, we're highlighting our support for the first responders. There's about 10,000 of them waiting for a kidney right now. And the pediatric patients, there's about 1,000 of them needing a kidney. We work with first responder organizations all around the country, big unions on law enforcement, firefighting, and EMT side, who help us get the word out about this disease and the suffering within within this community. And we hope that as we share this information, someone's inspired and step up to donate a kidney and save a life.
Wow, that is amazing. So for those who are watching us right now on WCNC Plus, what is your ask of people watching today?
I think I have an ask and an assurance to go with that. The ask is that you have two kidneys, and science has proven that you can donate one kidney and live a normal, productive life. And it's not to be taken lightly. It is a major surgery, so you will be in hospital for a day or two, and then take about a week to recover and about a month before you can begin your normal activities. Our assurance is that as you go through the journey, we will support you fully. We have individuals who have been in your shoes before. They are kidney donors themselves. They will guide you through this entire process. We will make sure that your costs, out-of-pocket costs like travel cost or pet care, child care, adult care, or let's say if you have loss of wages, that these are covered for you during the process. So any financial constraints, any guidance, any support that we can give, we will extend that fully to you. All you need to do is go to our website, www.kidneysforcommunities.org, and press on Become a Donor button.
Atul, amazing story, and it sounds like you're doing amazing work with Kidneys for Communities. Knowing at least two people who are recipients of living donor kidneys, I can also be a witness to those who are on both donor and donoree, that they are both living very high quality lives. So thank you for the conversation. Appreciate you this morning.
Jane, thanks for getting the word out.
Of course. Thanks. Take care. And we'll be right back on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. At 9:31 here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus, want to get you back out to Raleigh, the state capital. This is an oversight meeting with North Carolina General Assembly. Oh, we have some laughs. The state auditor talking right now as they talk about health care, particularly maternity care and access to child care. You're watching Live Impact News.
From Aaron Freyer for 10 minutes of presentation and 20 minutes of questioning. You're recognized to begin your presentation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for the invitation to be with you and share some data. I'm having similar problems on our maternal health care workforce.
Try to pull that again a little closer to see if we can.
Better? Yeah, okay. All right, thank you. Thank you for the invitation to be here and share our data on access to maternal health care in North Carolina. It's a pleasure to be with you. Just want to acknowledge that I'm the one sitting here, but a great team behind me working to get these data to you always. I want to start with who we are. So we are at the Shep Center for Health Services Research at UNC Chapel Hill. And although we are based at Chapel Hill, I want to be very clear, our mission is statewide. We serve the entire state, as many of you know. We receive data annually from our licensure boards. We have 40 years of data. The data are provided voluntarily. This organization and body would be happy to know there's no legislation that requires this. There's no appropriation, completely independent, which brings a level of rigor and objectivity to our work. We are funded by AHEC currently, and as I mentioned, we are statewide. I know you all are incredibly busy, so I always like to give you all of the take-homes in one slide. You all know this. Our infant mortality rate is the 11th highest in the United States. Our supply of nurse practitioners, of certified nurse practitioners, really increased after 2023, after the legislation allowing for independent practice was passed. We were expecting that to happen. It did indeed happen. In North Carolina, I'm going to leave you with a message today that this is not a supply issue. This is a distribution issue. We do not have people where we need them. Both physicians and certified nurse midwives are concentrated in urban areas. I'm going to show you some travel times from some of your counties to care for delivery. We've had hospital closures. You know this. Our best estimate is that between 12 and 18 hospitals, rural hospitals, have either closed completely or closed their OB units. That's 12,000 births from those counties. Those longer travel times to delivery are associated with higher C-section rates, severe maternal morbidity, preterm birth. One of the things we're going to end on is the fact that 29 states are currently or in the process of implementing Medicaid reimbursement for doulas. North Carolina is not currently one of them. You asked me to talk about home births and birth center births. Wanted to show you some data that 98% of births are still occurring in hospitals. So that's your take home. Physicians provide, this is showing you of all the births in 2024, physicians do about 81% of those births, certified nurse midwives do the other 16%, and then there are other providers who are delivering as well. We had a slight increase. These are the numbers of physicians providing obstetric care deliveries in North Carolina from 2005 to 2023. There's a question on your licensure form, do you routinely provide obstetric care? So you can see that our number of obstetric care deliveries, people who are physicians who are doing obstetric care deliveries, has increased over time. At the same time, births in North Carolina have been flat. So if you see an increase in the number of physicians and flat births, you're going to see that the actual average number of births per physician has actually decreased. So if you view this as a workload measure, you see, in fact, that we have fewer births per physician. So again, supply is going up. The question is distribution. So who are these physicians who are providing obstetric care? North Carolina, these are data from 2005 to 2023. You can see most of the physicians who say they are providing obstetric deliveries are OB-GYNs. But family medicine physicians do provide obstetric care in state, do deliveries, and they are hovering somewhere around 160 of those folks over time. We do have some emergency medicine and other specialties providing obstetric care delivery in the state. This is one of the things I wanted to draw your attention to. So after the legislation passed in 2023, allowing certified nurse midwives to have independent practice if they had 4,000 hours, at least 2 years in practice, you see this, look at the line between 2022 and 2025. So this is the rate of certified nurse midwives overall in the state. And you can see that the trend line really kicks up after 2023, indicating there was a pretty sharp increase in our supply of certified nurse midwives overall in the state after the passing of that legislation. And if you break down the type of certified nurse midwife, right? So now in practice, you have certified nurse midwives who are remaining in a collaborative practice agreement with a physician as it traditionally was before the legislation, and you have independent practice certified nurse midwives. You can see in 2023, the legislation passed, you had 33 people who jumped on it, but then look how the number of CNMs in independent practice increased to 206 and up to 257, and now certified nurse midwives who are independent make up the majority of that workforce that is growing, as I mentioned. One of the things that was really interesting to me to just dive into the data, this is a chart that's showing you, so at the top row is that line that you saw, the number of physicians providing obstetric care, the number of collaborative CNMs, and then independent CNMs. And one of the things I was interested to see, not surprising, independent certified nurse midwives are older. Remember, these are folks who probably bring a lot of experience, were already practicing, had that 4,000 hours. But they are less likely to practice in our non-metro counties relative to those CNMs in collaborative practice and physicians who are in, so 13% of physicians in rural communities. This was a surprise to me, and hopefully we'll have conversation at the end about why this may be occurring. So one of the beauties of our data, because we have all of these interprofessional data, is we can then combine the data on every physician who said they were providing obstetric care, with all of the certified nurse midwives, with all of the data on facilities, and we find that 28 counties in North Carolina do not have any clinicians or a place, either a birth center or a hospital. In this map, the darker shades indicate those places that have more obstetric care clinicians relative to population. And the dots are where the red dot is where you have a hospital, and those orange dots are where you have birth centers. So you can see, in fact, that we have a wide distribution. I want you to stop a minute, not only thinking about your own county, but I want you to look at the western part, the northern part, those places where we have white. Those are no providers, no clinicians. So think about that, and then I'm going to show you this map, which is distance to care, where the darker counties have a higher distance to care. So you'll see a lot of similarity between those counties that I just showed you that have few or no clinicians or birth centers or hospitals and higher distance to care. So we are, in fact, seeing variation across the state. Those gray counties are places where there just weren't enough births over time to give us a stable estimate. But those darker counties are places where families are having to drive farther for delivery. We know hospital closures, as I mentioned, are a big issue. I mentioned our best estimate is between 12 and 18 rural hospitals have closed. This is work that we do with the North Carolina Rural Health Research Program and Dr. Mark Holmes, who directs that center. And in 2024, nearly 12,000 births originated from those counties where, presumably, if there were a hospital or birth center, somebody would have chosen to deliver locally in that county. Over 98% of births still occur in hospitals. What you're looking at is the number of births by home births. You can see the home births are increasing. The freestanding births are also increasing over time, but the home births have increased at a fast and surpassed the number of freestanding births, but still relatively few in the state. You asked me to talk about doulas, and for those of you who don't, so doulas do not provide, deliveries, but they do provide physical, emotional, and information support to women before, during, and shortly after childbirth. a lot of research, a good amount of evidence shows that doula care is associated with decreased maternal stress, lower C-section rates, lower odds of postpartum depression and anxiety, and improved trust in relationship with the birthing process. And because of those improved outcomes, because fewer postpartum visits to the hospital or visit to the physician, there is potential for cost savings for state Medicaid programs that have, in fact, invested in doulas. In 2025, you can see those 23 states in North Carolina that are currently allowing Medicaid reimbursement for doula services. Those are those green states. The yellow states are the places that actually have or are currently implementing Medicaid reimbursement. The blue states are where no action has currently taken place in the country. And my last slide is really telling you that, when you asked me about doulas, I'm a data nerd. It was a lot of fun diving into data, trying to find data on doulas. So doulas can train through many different certifying bodies, so it's really hard to get a number on them. Certification is optional. Many doulas work informally or paid out of pocket. Doula roles vary. Not all are doing birth. They're doing a lot of postpartum and prenatal care as well. We used a data set that we call the National Plan and Provider Enumeration System, and we estimate there's about 400 doulas in North Carolina, and more than half of those, more than half of North Carolina's counties have a doula. Interestingly, although most report their primary role as a doula, some are other kinds of healthcare providers, lactation consultants, social workers, nurses, and others. So those are the data I hope that answer your requests that you asked from us at SHEPS. You have, and we're beginning getting a handout from us that actually have customized data for your district. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Freyer. Very informative. I believe, Representative Campbell, you have a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I know we've riffed on this before. Yes. Thank you for being, I love what you do.
Thank you for having me.
Just two questions and comments. One, kind of going back to slide 11, I think that this is important to emphasize, and we've talked about the places where we've seen independent practice. We have seen in many states this regression of distribution. And I think it's important when we talk about solving rural health, is not only have we seen this in our state, but we've seen it in other states that have done it, that even if they begin in underserved areas, when that independent practice is granted, we see a migration to the same distribution of physicians. And so do you have any thoughts about how we could, because if that continues to happen like every other state, this is not going to solve a rural healthcare problem. And then I have a follow-up.
Yes, thank you, Representative Campbell. So this was one of the ones that really piqued our interest as well, trying to figure out why we were seeing independent CNMs at a lower rate. I will say one of the things we're very conscious of is you can only work in a county where there's a facility to hire you, right? So there has to be a facility, and there has to be a facility that's willing to hire you. And I'm wondering whether there's also some inertia that's happening in terms of hospitals not having been in the past employing independent CNMs who may just need to be able to change the model of care or the model that they're working on. We see this with family medicine physicians as well. So I would love to dig into whether those, and we can for you, look at whether people moved, which is what I think you're inferring, like they became independent and then moved, or whether they actually would like to practice in that county but do not have hospital privileging authority or whatever. I would love to look into that. Thank you.
One follow-up, Mr. Chairman.
Follow-up.
So take you to slide 16. Two things, and we've talked about this. This is more to emphasize. I think the potential health outcome and cost benefits are there with doulas. I think it's important to emphasize a lot of people see the role of a doula as that they show up when you're in labor. But if we want the benefits that can come with this, the doulas have to be present during prenatal care. A lot of the preterm delivery, decreased gestational diabetes, decreased preeclampsia that we see with patients with doulas involved, it's because we're giving them the opportunity to be involved with the patient leading up to delivery, and then in terms of the mental health outcomes and savings, their presence afterwards. And the last thing I'll say about doulas is, and we've talked about this before, a doula is a doula is a doula. And I cannot emphasize the importance, if we're going to ingratiate this into the system of reimbursement, there has to be a rigorous set of certification for that, because I've delivered almost 8,000 kids. I've worked with doulas, and for the most part, they're absolutely fantastic. But there's a difference between a certified doula and someone that says, I had a baby and I hung out with my cousin when she had a baby. If we're going to get these benefits, we've got to make sure we're getting the right type of personnel there. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Is that first or second cousin? What's important in my neighborhood?
Either.
Senator Bergen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That was a wonderful presentation. It was concise. It was you kept us all engaged, so that was wonderful. Thank you for doing this work. Did you study certified professional midwives? As you talk to me about that, because we've had a lot of discussions about that.
We did not, and that's going to be the short answer, because we don't have data on them, in fact. And so, unfortunately, we are, for this ask, did not. We could do a deep dive for you and try to gather some data, but I had not.
One follow-up real quick. I represent two of the counties that are in the dark blue there, and in fact, about 2 years ago, our hospital closed all the OB services. There were 435 children born the year before it was closed, and it's just amazing to me that we have almost a third of our counties that don't have OB services and delivery. So I hope you keep investigating that. And doctor, I think doulas are something we really need to look at. And just as a follow-up to that, did you look at what the average price or cost to have a doula engaged during a pregnancy?
We did not, and the actual costs, from the reports that we were able to read, both the cost of having a doula, because a lot of it is paid out of pocket, is really hard to know, and reimbursement rates for doulas actually vary significantly as well. So I would encourage this body, if it's something that you're thinking about, actually a lot of states have used doulas, and actually getting the data from those other states, and we can help with that. Can I answer your...
You've been watching North Carolina lawmakers on this oversight hearing talking about medical care for women and maternity care as well as child care. We will come back after a little break on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Right now, 9:50 on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus as we enter the second week of the war in Iran. Foreign leaders from all over the world are speaking out amid that action right now. Let's go out to Jerusalem in the Mideast, in Israel, where there's the Foreign Minister of Foreign Affairs, Gideon Saar, making remarks about the Iran war. Let's listen in Live Impact News.
Die ich hier erfahren durfte. Ich komme heute in eine Region im Krieg, in ein Land, das von manchen seiner Nachbarn aus leidvoller Erfahrung nichts anderes erwartet als Drohnen und Raketen.
Okay, it looks like they shifted over to the German Foreign Affairs official. Mr. Saar was speaking in English just moments ago. So we will continue to monitor that here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus and potentially go back to it because it is happening live. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth did have remarks from the Pentagon along with Joint Chiefs of Staff General Dan Kane. They spoke on a briefing this morning, wrapping up moments ago. We'll play this from the top now, just wrapping up here on Live Impact News.
Well, to our fellow Americans, brave warriors, and steadfast allies, good morning. You know, as someone who led troops, led soldiers in the streets of Baghdad and Samarra, Iraq, and who trained counterinsurgents in Kabul, Afghanistan, and who still carries the weight of brothers lost to Iranian terrorist proxies, many backed by the same Iranian regime we're confronting now. This fight, Operation Epic Fury, it hits home. Our generation understands this fight. For 47 years, these barbaric savages in the Iranian regime have murdered our brothers in arms, my guys, your guys, our guys. Through their terrorist proxies and cowardly attacks, now they race toward a nuclear bomb to hold the world hostage. The Iranians have targeted and killed thousands of my American brothers. That race to a nuclear bomb, President Trump will never allow it. Not now, not ever, not on our watch. The mullahs are desperate and scrambling. Like the terrorist cowards they are, they fire missiles from schools and hospitals, deliberately targeting innocents, because they know their military is being systematically degraded and annihilated. Iran's neighbors, and in some cases, former allies in the Gulf, they've abandoned them. And their proxies, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and Hamas, either broken, ineffective, or on the sidelines. Iran stands alone, and they are badly losing. On day 10 of Operation Epic Fury, we are winning, with an overwhelming and unrelenting focus on our objectives, which are the same as the day I gave my first briefing here on Operation Epic Fury. They're straightforward, and we are executing them with ruthless precision. One, destroy their missile stockpiles, their missile launchers, and their defense industrial base. Missiles and their ability to make them. Two, destroy their navy. And three, permanently deny Iran nuclear weapons forever. It's a laser-focused, maximum authority mission delivered with overwhelming and unrelenting precision. No hesitation, no half measures. As President Trump declared yesterday, we're crushing the enemy in an overwhelming display of technical skill and military force. We will not relent until the enemy is totally and decisively defeated. But we do so on our timeline and at our choosing. For example, today will be yet again our most intense day of strikes inside Iran. The most fighters, the most bombers, the most strikes. Intelligence more refined and better than ever. So that's on one hand. On the other hand, the last 24 hours have seen Iran fire the lowest number of missiles they've been capable of firing yet. Just the bifurcation, just the trend lines that we talked about on our first briefing. You see, this is not 2003. This is not endless nation building under those types of quagmires we saw under Bush or Obama. It's not even close. Our generation of soldier will not let that happen again, and nor will this president. who very clearly ran against those kinds of never-ending, nebulously scoped missions. Those days are dead. Instead, we're winning decisively with brutal efficiency, total air dominance, and an unbreakable will to accomplish the President's objectives on our timeline. We stay locked on the target because here at the Department of War, that's our job. Now, the Chairman and I, having just returned from Dover last night, our troops and their families and the enormous sacrifice that they make is certainly heavy on my mind. So I'll close with Scripture, drawing strength from Psalm 144. Blessed be the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle. He is my loving God and my fortress, my stronghold and my deliverer, my shield, in whom I take refuge. May the Lord grant unyielding strength and refuge to our warriors, unbreakable protection to them and our homeland, and total victory over those who seek to harm them. And amen. God bless our troops and this mission. Mr. Chairman, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. I'm here today to continue the updates to the American people and to those in the room on Operation Epic Fury. First, let me start with honoring our fallen. As the Secretary said, on Saturday and again last night at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware, our nation's leaders honored our returning fallen as they arrived home for their final time. Last week I shared a few of the names, and today I want to share the rest. Major Jeffrey O'Brien and Chief Warrant Officer 3 Robert Marzan were the final two fallen to return home, and members of the U.S. Army Reserve's 103rd Sustainment Command out of Des Moines, Iowa. Last night, as the news has been reporting, we honored the return of Staff Sergeant Benjamin Pennington of the U.S. Army 1st Space Brigade from Fort Carson, Colorado. When I met Ben's family last night, his mom, his dad, and his sister, they showed me a picture, a drawing that Ben had made when he was in kindergarten. It was clear all the way back then that Ben wanted to do one thing in his life, and he wanted to serve his country and be a soldier. And to the Penningtons, just know how Ben was absolutely a great one. And finally, Major Sorfleet Davies, who returned home this weekend after sadly passing away from a medical condition while on duty in Kuwait. We welcome him home as well and mourn with his family. To the families and the families of all of our fallen, we share in your profound grief. The Joint Force remains eternally grateful for your sacrifice and the gift of a great example that your service members have given all of us. I want you to know that their names will never be forgotten, and you and your family are part of our Joint Force family forever. Let me talk a little bit about the progress thus far, acknowledging that Admiral Cooper will likely continue to give updates from CENTCOM. As the Secretary said, we're in the 10th, moving into the 11th day of Operation Epic Fury. The Joint Force remains focused on 3 military objectives: continue to destroy Iranian ballistic missiles and drone capability in order to prevent attacks on the U.S. and others throughout the region. And this means attacking launch sites, command and control nodes, stockpiles before they can threaten our personnel, our facilities, and our partners. Second, we continue to strike the Iranian Navy and their capabilities in order to do things like sustained movement through the Straits of Hormuz. And third, we continue to start working on and going deeper into Iran's military and industrial base in order to prevent the regime from being able to attack Americans, our interests, and our partners for years to come and project power outside their borders. This means servicing production facilities, research and development sites, and infrastructure. Let me turn to the map. We're going to try digital today to prevent laser injury. Since our last update, CENTCOM continues to make progress across the southern flank. To date, they've struck more than 5,000 targets. U.S. Strategic Command bombers recently dropped dozens of 2,000-pound GPS-penetrating weapons on deeply buried missile launchers across the southern flank. We also have struck several one-way drone factories to get at the heart of their autonomous capability. And of course, alongside our regional partners along the southern flank, continue to execute intercepts against one-way attack drones using fighters and attack helicopters. Our strikes mean we've made significant progress in reducing the number of missile and drone attacks out of Iran. Ballistic missile attacks continue to trend downward 90% from where they've started, and one-way attack drones have decreased 83% since the beginning of the operation. A testament to our air defenders and our air defense systems, and as I said, our partners in the region continue to do great work as well. Second, we're making substantial progress towards destroying the Navy. In the first 10 days of the conflict, we're more than 50 Iranian naval ships into the campaign using a combination of artillery, fighters, bombers, and sea-launched missiles. As Admiral Cooper noted last Thursday, we struck and sank an Iranian drone carrier ship, and U.S. CENTCOM continues today to hunt and strike mine-laying vessels and mine storage facilities. This work will continue. Third, against our objectives, we've begun to target Iran's military and industrial complex, again, focusing on centers of gravity to get upstream of the shooters out in the field in order to deny them the ability to continue to generate those one-way attack drones. Let me spend a minute talking about the joint force. Across the area of responsibility, this is gritty and tireless work, and I cannot begin to explain how incredibly proud I am of the extraordinary courage, tenacity, and grit and professionalism within the joint force. Last time I had a chance to talk about the Army's incredible logisticians who are out there sustaining the fight. Today I want to highlight a few groups of sailors. First, I want to thank the men and women of the Ford Carrier Strike Group and their families, and let all of them know how grateful I am for their leadership and service. The crews on board this strike group have already been endured months at sea only to get their deployment extended. These exceptional Americans, rogered up, all supported by their families, continue to stand the watch, taking the fight to the enemy over and over again, night after night. Aboard ships like the USS Ford and the Abraham Lincoln are a special group of sailors I want to highlight today. These are the men and women, the sailors up on the roof running operations on the flight deck. With an average age of the early 20s, these are the unsung heroes of naval aviation. These young sailors, known for wearing yellow shirts, are in charge of the catapults, taxiing jets around on the flight deck, shooting jets off the front end, and recovering jets off the back end. They are literally involved with every single movement on the roof on an aircraft carrier. They are the last ones that a naval aviator sees before getting shot off the front end, and the first one that a naval aviator sees after safely trapping on the back end. And just for a minute, imagine you're standing on that aircraft carrier flight deck. There's 30 knots of wind in your face. The deck is slippery, covered in grease. It's noisy. There are propellers spinning. There's jet blast everywhere. The helicopters are running. Your head is on a swivel, and you're trying to direct a multi-million-dollar fighter into a 1-foot square box so that those naval aviators can be shot off into the black of night to go do America's work. Those jets are fully loaded with missiles and bombs, and they are a world-class team combined with the naval aviation and the aviators in those jets. This beautiful symphony of American spirit is the definition of perfectly organized chaos, and these crews do it every single time the carrier is at work. Oh, by the way, in the middle of the night, and oftentimes in the pouring rain. These are dedicated young people who take the road less traveled to serve their great nation, doing the deeds that we need them to do. America's enlisted force is the pride of every nation's military, certainly ours, and the envy of every other one as well. Each and every one of them out there across the joint force are extraordinary, and in particular today I want to highlight the yellow shirts. Ladies and gentlemen, our work continues. It'll continue to be difficult. I ask every American to keep our deployed force and their families in our thoughts. Combat deployments can be tough on the force and the family.
We need to take a break here. We'll break away from that briefing from the Pentagon on the war with Iran in just minutes from now. We're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. At 10:08 here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I want to take you right now to Uptown, where a special announcement is taking place on the upcoming Gospel Music Awards. Let's go ahead and listen in live on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus.
Good morning, everyone. Listen, can we just start off with a little worship this morning? Anybody believe we serve a big God out there? Just wave your hand and say, "You're bigger, you're bigger." Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. God gave me this song and it says, "You're bigger than the universe, and you're bigger than the sun and the stars. You're bigger than a thing, oh my, that could tear me apart. You're bigger than the universe, oh no, bigger than the sun and the stars."
All right, that awards announcement is about to get underway here shortly. You can tell they're just doing some prayers, some singing, obviously, as we break away from that for just a few minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. It looks like the U.S. Senate is in session right now out of Washington, D.C. I see him. There he is, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer taking the floor. Let's go ahead and listen in here live on WCNC Plus.
Donald Trump is risking the lives of our troops, the safety of the American people, the stability of the world economy, based on whims, based on feelings, based on contradictions. It's dangerous, it's incompetent, It's sort of like a second grader running this war. Donald Trump's also a liar. He claims that Iranian Tomahawk missiles were responsible for the bombing of an all-girls school that killed 170 people, including many children. Iran doesn't have Tomahawk missiles, Donald Trump. The claim is beyond asinine. Again, he says whatever pops into his head, no matter what the truth is. And we all know he lies, but on something as formidable as this, it's appalling. No other leader in the administration, not even Pete Hegseth, who does whatever Trump wants, is claiming Iranian missiles did this. Trump is lying through his teeth. So, this morning I will be demanding a full, independent and transparent investigation to get to the bottom of what happened at this school and why so many innocent civilians were tragically killed. There needs to be accountability. Meanwhile, Trump's addiction to chaos is coming back to haunt the United States. The most formidable weapon Iran has right now is the Strait of Hormuz, which today is effectively shut down. And now, thanks to Donald Trump's lack of foresight, Iran has a new, even more radical, even more hostile supreme leader who will not be inclined to give up leverage over the strait. That's the one weapon that Iran has where it can be, unfortunately, be successful. The result? Oil and gas prices are soaring across the world, including here in America. A barrel of Brent crude shot over $100 a barrel yesterday. That got Trump to say his contradictory things to try and bring the price down. It came down a little, but not much. The average price of 1 gallon in the United States is $3.54. That's a 17% increase since the start of the war. Yet Donald Trump says, if it rises, it rises. He says, it doesn't really affect us. What a clueless thing to say. Has Donald Trump ever filled his own tank in his life? Has he any clue of what people go through when the price of gas goes up? Maybe billionaires like him don't have to worry, but for the rest of us, his war with Iran means more inflation in America. And not just in gasoline, but airline tickets will go up because the price of fuel for the airlines. Food prices will go up because of the price of fertilizer. It'll cut across the board, as we've seen before when oil prices go up. Donald Trump is causing chaos in our economy. Finally, Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, and Marco Rubio owe the American people some answers. The administration needs to come before Congress and testify in public hearings under oath as to why our troops are fighting and dying in the Middle East. This morning, I'm joining with a group of my colleagues to demand just that they come before Congress and testify in public so they can see what the administration is up to, not up to, and I believe they'll see the mass confusion as they engage.
We'll break away from D.C. and bring it back home here to the Queen City as the Gospel Awards are coming back, or coming to Charlotte. The founder of the Stellar Awards about to speak now. This is the host at the podium as we listen in live to this announcement on Live Impact News on WCNC+.
And chairman of the Stellar Network and the visionary behind the Stellar Awards, Mr. Don Jackson.
Wow. Thank you. Woo, Kayla. You know, we built the Stellar Awards around these wonderful singers, and earlier, some 40 years ago, it was John P. Key who supported us, and I'm so proud to see John here. And then just some years ago, this young lady who sang Bigger showed up. And this is what gospel music really is all about. And I'm so pleased with her growth, and she's continuing to grow. She's, whatever we have called on her to do, she has showed up John B. Key. And that's the enjoyment of what this is. So I'm going to tell you some background about who we are other than the Stellar Awards and what we do. But I just want to say that we are so thrilled to be here in Charlotte. The reception that we have gotten has been phenomenal. And someone I was talking with said, you've been to the mayor. It's really, right now, I'm celebrating my, this will be my 83rd year out here. And I ain't done yet. And the folks who are following me, and I'll introduce you to them shortly, are my siblings, my daughter, her husband, my wife, and they are all in the company, which makes it so enjoyable. But I want to just go over a few notes here. It won't take long, because they accuse me of going long sometimes. But I'll say, Malcolm, I'm not going to go too long here, because I want to hear from some of the great speakers, and especially the mayor, for making this possible and welcoming us to this city that I've become to love with the reception that I've gotten from all of your folks. So it's coming from the heart. First of all, on behalf of Central City Productions, which is our main company, I'm honored to stand before you today for the exciting announcement of Charlotte, North Carolina, becoming the host of the 41st Annual Stellar Gospel Music Awards. Now, most of you know it's about the Stellar Awards, but I want to show you just a quick glimpse and see where is our guy who's working the, oh, he's right there, Billy, thank you. Show you a brief video that'll give you some idea of who we are, and then I'll take it from there. Billy?
Let's go. I don't know what you're going through, but we stopped by to tell you that what's in front.
All right, while they show the video in-house, we're going to take a break here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. At 10:19 here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus, we're going to stay with our local good news in Charlotte. The Stellar Gospel Awards coming to Charlotte as we go ahead and continue to listen in on Live Impact News.
To create the foundation of our expertise in the television areas, in distribution, advertising, production, promotion, and programming, to launch the first and annual #1 Gospel Music Awards show in the country. The Stellar Awards is the premier awards show honoring the best and the brightest of gospel music. Each year, the Stellar Awards celebrates the artists and creators that continue to share and uplift gospel music around the world. We could not have done this without the partners who have really depended upon us, not just for the Stellar Awards, but to showcase our community, showcase our people. And I'd like to show you one of our most important partners in the advertising community. Billy?
Inequality. Now, we recognize as P&G, which is one of the world's leading advertisers, that to change the system, we needed to step up and do more, because we are the system. We call that platform Widen the Screen. It's a call to action. It's a roadmap. It's to redesign a more equal, creative ecosystem. One of the most important partnerships of this platform is Don Jackson. And Don was an incredible inspiration. Visionary leadership. He made it clear, when we create accurate and authentic and uplifting stories about Black life, with more talented Black storytellers, and we invest in to make Black-owned media market bigger with stories and advertising.
All right, so the gist of that is that the Stellar Gospel Awards coming to Charlotte. Exciting time is that live announcement taking place here on Live Impact News. Get you back out to the Senate floor, happening live right now at Washington, D.C., with lawmakers debating on the Senate floor. Let's listen in.
Ode to Housing Act focuses on unleashing private sector investment. And, Mr. President, this entire bill has been put together with an emphasis on allowing states and local communities to pursue the housing solutions that work for them. Look at the great diversity of circumstances across rural, suburban, and urban communities, and it should be clear to everyone that one-size-fits-all mandates from Washington are not the solution. Instead, we need to empower states and localities to create the solutions that fit their particular communities. Mr. President, there's a lot more in this bill, from support for veterans and rural communities to increased oversight and accountability for federal housing programs. It's the product of good ideas from both parties and from both houses of Congress. And it's no surprise that it's supported by everyone from the National League of Cities to the National Association of Affordable Housing Leaders and the National Association of Realtors. Mr. President, the inflation crisis that defined the Biden administration is still weighing down a lot of American families. And since taking office last January, Republicans have been focused on making life easier for the American people. We prevented a massive tax hike and put more money in Americans' pockets with the working families' tax cuts. Took aim this January at high prices at the pharmacy counter. And now we're continuing our work on affordability with the 21st Century Road to Housing Act to open the door to affordable homes for hardworking Americans around the country. And we're going to continue to do everything we can to ease the burdens facing Americans and to make life better for the American people. Now, Mr. President, in just a moment, I'm going to proceed to a piece of legislation that we have voted on a number of times already, and that is a bill that would fund the Department of Homeland Security. This is now the 26th day of the shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security, and it follows the Democrat shutdown last fall that went for 43 days of virtually entire government. This applies to Department of Homeland Security. And so here we are, 25 days into another government shutdown instigated by Democrats because they want, I guess, changes made to the bill, although it's very hard to know what that is because at this point they refuse even to meet to talk about this. Now, Mr. President, remember how this all began. The Department of Homeland Security Appropriations Bill was negotiated by both the House and the Senate Republicans and Democrats, and it passed out of the House of Representatives. So it comes over here to the Senate, a bill negotiated by Democrats in the Senate, along with our Republican colleagues on our side, and our colleagues in the House of Representatives, and the White House. So we had agreed upon Department of Homeland Security appropriations bill. And then what happened? Well, the Democrats decided they didn't like that bill anymore, decided to walk away from it, wanted to renegotiate it. After all that negotiation, which included, I might add, reforms that they had requested, specifically as they apply to ICE, including body cameras, $20 million in there for body cameras, de-escalation training, additional oversight of ICE activities, a whole range of things were included in the base bill. It's the bill that we will be voting on later this week again, unless they decide to actually come to the table and negotiate. So it had all that input from Republicans, Democrats, reforms requested by Democrats, passed out of the House, comes over here to be picked up and passed by the Senate. Senate Democrats say, oops, sorry, we're not for this anymore. We want to renegotiate. So in that context, the White House and Senate Republicans have made good faith efforts to submit proposals, additional ideas that the Democrats had put on their long wish list, which was about 15 items, some of which were not doable. I mean, there are certain things on there, obviously. Anytime you're trying to negotiate a deal, you're not going to get everything you want, right? Well, the Democrats had a long list of things, demands that they had wanted, and so Republicans agreed to sit down. The White House, to their credit, has submitted now multiple efforts. The most recent one has not been responded to by the Senate Democrats. But what makes this even more stark, Mr. President, is you have now agencies of government with employees who aren't going to get paid that perform important national security functions. Cybersecurity. You think that's not a problem in a dangerous world? Border Patrol. Customs and Border Protection, Border Patrol, they're not getting paid. TSA, people are starting to travel. They're hitting the airport and the lines are getting longer and longer and longer. Coast Guard, FEMA, the agency that responds to disasters around this country and has virtually run out of money, is also part of the bill that the Democrats are holding up. Now, Mr. President, all that is bad enough, and frankly, shameful, if you think about it, given what's at stake for this country and for our national security, for our border security, for security in our communities, for disaster assistance, for our cybersecurity. Those are all things, Mr. President, aren't being funded because of the Democrat shutdown, which is bad in and of itself. But what makes it even worse is they are now saying they don't even want to sit down and talk. Overtures were made yesterday to the ranking Democrat on the Senate Appropriations Committee. Countless overtures have been made to the Democrat leadership, and they have basically said, sorry, we don't want to talk. So here we are in the 26th day now of a government shutdown instigated by Democrats after they had agreed to the very bill that they are now opposing, and are now opposing even sitting down and talking and negotiating on the things they say they want. Explain that one. Mr. President, this is borderline obnoxious. This is indefensible, it is unjustifiable, and there are American people who are going to hurt as a result of this, and those already who work at these agencies, some 120,000 at one agency alone, that aren't going to get paid, who perform critical security missions for this country to keep the American people safe. I don't get it. I really don't. You want reforms? Our side, the White House, have been willing to sit down, have given a number of the suggestions the Democrats had, in addition to the things that were in the original bill that they had negotiated and agreed to, which included reforms, like I said, $20 million for body cameras, de-escalation training, oversight of ICE. There have been a number of additional things the White House has been willing to work with the Democrats on. Tom Homan, who's been sort of on the lead in terms of what's going on out there as far as the enforcement issue is concerned, has offered up himself and been willing to talk about some of these requests that Democrats have. But frankly, Mr. President, it's hard to get to a solution when you have one party that refuses to even sit down and talk. This is kind of a new low, really. There are certain things the American people, I think, expect of their elected officials, one of which is to continue the basic functioning of the government, funding government agencies, especially government agencies that have critical national security missions. And what makes it even worse, Mr. President, is we've tried now on countless occasions to buy additional time to allow for the negotiations to continue and to fund those agencies, at least temporarily, until there is a permanent solution in place. We have now twice...
Listening and watching live what's happening on the Senate floor out of Washington, D.C. Time for us to take a break here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Back here at 10:33 on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Another Senate hearing happening right now. This is on sanctuary cities. Let's go ahead and listen in on Live Impact News.
Just as I would expect them to honor ours. These practices likely contribute to why our agency has the lowest crime rate in the entire Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia area and is one of the safest counties in the entire United States. That doesn't mean we're exempt from problems related to illegal immigration.
We actually have to break away from that hearing that's happening live, take it back out to Uptown, shall we? Let's see what if they're wrapping up here. Oh, pulling up Mayor Vi Lyles here, speaking on the Gospel Awards coming to Charlotte. Again, you're listening to Live Impact News on WCNC Plus.
I think it's still morning, right? Yeah. Okay, it's still morning. I want to say that this has been something that's actually, can you hear me okay? Am I good? Okay, okay. This has been way more than I expected. Just this time this morning with everyone, to be able to have everyone sitting and being a part of this. I want to take this moment to say to you, Mr. Jackson, that when you came in, I just knew that you were the right person for what we were going to do. We started talking about our families and the families that help us do what we do. You know, although I did have to tell them that my brothers were in construction and not entertainment. And that means I will never sing on the stage. I just want you to know that. So, but I want to say something that's very important about our community. These folks that are sitting in these seats now are absolutely the people that are dedicated to what we do in our community. Not that we do everything's right, but we do things with good intent. We do it with people that care. And all of these things make a big difference when you're doing something like this. So I want to say, Mr. Jackson, that you and I have a shared vision of what Black communities can be like, what we can do and make it possible for us to be in a community like this, which is really a really wonderful place. But we do that in a way to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to thrive on what we're doing. And that makes a big difference. So I know I have a lot of remarks to make, but the remarks that I want to make are really the first things that are to say is that the people in this community will make sure that the work that you do will be perfectly done, because that's what we do in this community. It's not just an event. It's not just to come out and sing and do all of that other stuff. It will be with our heart and our soul that will make a difference on what's possible. For these several weeks of days that we're going to be here, how long are you going to stay? Yeah. Forever. See, this is how it goes. Besides, she just told me I just saw her at the Costco store, so that's okay. That's where we go, Costco store. So anyway, I just want to say that we're attracting the best out of what we can have. And I know every one of us will put our best forward so that you will have the ability to come back and say, when I went to Charlotte, and you can tell Brandon this, you can say, Brandon, when I went to Charlotte, it wasn't the mayor, it was the people that made the difference. Thank you very much.
We do want to take a very important moment to acknowledge the incredible Stellar team whose dedication makes all of this possible. First of all, please put your hands together for President and COO Jennifer Jackson. Like I said, we were in Jennifer's ear for a long time. We are so glad. Please also put your hands together for our events and distribution lead, Rhonda Sams. And Director of Marketing and Sales, Ray Sams. Show producer and director, Michael Johnson. Is Michael here? There he is. And our talent producer, Aaron Johnson. Hey, Aaron. And we want to take this time to thank you for your hard work and commitment that moves the show forward in such a perfect way every single year. Let's give them another round of applause. These are the feet on the street. These are the hands at the plow, and you'll see. That's all I got to say. You will see. Thank you again, Mayor Lyles. We appreciate you so much. Our next speaker has long been a strong advocate for community development, culture, and economic opportunity across Charlotte, and has already been busy at work pulling all the pieces together to make this Stellar Awards week an amazing week. Please put your hands together for Councilman Malcolm Graham.
Good morning, everyone. What a great day to be in Charlotte for this travel and tourism announcement centered on arts and culture. When I was a little boy growing up in Charleston, South Carolina, all my Sunday mornings were the same. Before my feet hit the floor, I would smell grits, eggs, bacon, smoked sausage, and ham coming from the kitchen. And at the bottom of the staircase, my mom would be yelling, "Cynthia, Jackie, Malcolm, get up, get ready for church." Generally the third time. And somewhere between the kitchen and the hallway, she would make her way to the den where she would put on her favorite gospel album that she bought from Edwards department store the night before. James Cleveland, Aretha Franklin, her father, Mahalia Jackson, the Four Blind Boys, the Mississippi Mass Choir. That music would follow me from the house to the car, from the car to the church, where she would take her seat in the gospel choir in the alto selection. That was my introduction to gospel music. When things were bad for me, when I lost my sister in Charleston for the shooting, it was gospel music that pulled me through. John P. Key wrote me a personal song that I played. Keep the Faith was always on constant replay. Gospel music is just more just a style of music. It is the lifeline to people's soul, hope, dreams, aspirations. And so when the mayor sent me a forwarded email and said, "Hey, I got this company thinking about coming to Charlotte, run with it and see where it goes." It was the Stellar Awards. So it was more than just a work assignment. It was a passion project. Working with Steve and his tremendous team at the CRVA, they helped us pull this thing together for this great city. And I am so proud to say this morning to Don and Jennifer, welcome home. Welcome to Charlotte. But this event is more than one night at the Spectrum Center. During that week, Charlotte will come to life with concerts and community events, industry gatherings, and faith-based programming across our city, from the historic Carolina Theater to venues throughout uptown and across our neighborhoods. Visitors from around the country will experience the energy, the hospitality, and the spirit that makes Charlotte such a special place. The event will shine a national spotlight on our city. It will bring culture, vibrant tourism, and meaningful impact to our community, and it will allow us to celebrate the faith community and the gospel music tradition that exists throughout Charlotte and across the Carolina. Charlotte was chosen because who we are. We are a city with a strong and vibrant faith community. We are a city that knows how to host world-class events. And we are a city whose culture, hospitality, and leadership continue to attract national attention. Over the coming months, we will work together to build a strong local host committee, engage corporate and civic partners, and celebrate with church leaders and musicians across this region to make sure that the gospel music world, when they come to Charlotte, they experience something truly special. We will be celebrating legacy, a legacy of faith, a legacy of music, a legacy of community that has uplifted many generations. So for personally, this is a full circle moment from listening to those songs in my home to be able, Don, to listen to it in the Spectrum Center and the Carolina Theater and the Blumenthal and maybe Middle C Jazz all over this city. Praising God, uplifting spirits, showcasing our community, and demonstrating the value of partnership. The value of partnership. The value of partnership, Steve. Thank you. Thank you for the work for you and your staff for helping us lure this event. And Jennifer and Don, we kind of hit it off right from the very start. It was just easy to say, okay, we ought to do this, Madam Mayor. Makes good business sense.
That's Councilmember Malcolm Graham speaking at the Uptown announcement of the Stellar Gospel Awards coming to Charlotte. Seems like everyone's happy about that. We need to take one more break, at least here on our 10 o'clock hour. You're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. At 10:48 here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus, get you back into Uptown because the Charlotte Regional Visitors Authority now speaking on the Stellar Gospel Awards coming to Charlotte. Let's listen in on Live Impact News.
RVA board members who do so much to support the hospitality community in Charlotte, including our chairwoman, Emma Allen, who is with us today. Emma, thank you for all that you do. Now, if you are familiar with Charlotte, you know that we roll out the red carpet for big events. When Stellar Awards comes to town, thousands of visitors will travel here to experience the show, the artists, and the energy of this community. That means hotel rooms filled, restaurants bustling, and businesses across the region benefiting from the power of the hospitality economy. But the impact goes beyond the numbers. The Stellar Awards will introduce audiences across the country to Charlotte, our skyline, our hospitality, and the spirit of the city. The broadcast airs nationwide on major networks, including the Stellar Network, BET, Bounce, and through broadcast syndication, reaching more than 3.6 million television viewers, with millions more engaging across digital platforms. That kind of national visibility is incredibly valuable to our destinations. Events like this also showcase the strength of partnership in Charlotte, and I've heard that referenced so many times this morning. This announcement reflects the collaboration between the Stellar Awards team, the City of Charlotte, our elected leaders, and the faith community and our hospitality industry. When Charlotte works together, we create opportunities to uplift the entire region. So we are grateful to Don Jackson, Jennifer, grateful to you both and the Stellar Awards team for choosing Charlotte. And we cannot wait to welcome the artists, production teams, and fans who will soon be here celebrating gospel music together in our community. Charlotte is ready for the Stellar Awards, and we're ready to show this country what Charlotte is all about. So thank you. I also want to recognize a really important contribution to the effort to bring Stellar Awards to Charlotte, and that came from the state of North Carolina. They have come up with innovative programming that help bring events like this to communities throughout North Carolina, including the Stellar Awards here to Charlotte. We have Walter Bowers, the director of the governor's office, with us today, and I wanted to invite Walter to the stage to talk about North Carolina's support for this effort. Walter?
Good morning, everyone. First, let me start by acknowledging all of the amazing leaders in the room and the distinguished guests. I certainly want to acknowledge again our amazing mayor and the chair of our county commissioners, Councilman Graham. It's been a long time since I've seen you, all of last week, right? So we're thankful. Mr. Bagwell, we appreciate your leadership, and we look forward to working together. Family, this is a really big deal. Today, I have the opportunity to stand before you as the director of the governor's office here in Charlotte, North Carolina, which actually covers about 17 counties. And in that capacity, we get to do a lot of great things to grow our community together. And today I was asked to come on the behalf of the Department of Commerce because this is an amazing opportunity for all of us together. Mr. Jackson, I want to say that as I'm standing here in my official capacity as a representative of the governor, I also happen to be a pastor in this community, and I have a great...
All right, time right now is 10:52 here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I have a few more minutes here. You know what else is coming to Charlotte? NHRA, one of the most unique events in all of motorsports coming here. Z-Max Dragway, the NHRA 4-Wide Nationals, right? Returning end of April 24th through the 26th. 2 drivers competing. They're here. 3-time NHRA World Champion, funny car veteran Ron Capps, as well as Top Fuel rookie Maddie Gordon, making some serious noise now in her first season. Good morning, guys. Thanks for coming in here. I know you're doing the whole press tour in the Queen City. For those who have never seen this 4-wide race, how do you describe the experience?
Go ahead, Maddie.
Insane.
Insane.
Yes,
That's
I like
how
that.
I explain it. It's
For
insane.
sure.
It's 48,000 horsepower at one time. These race cars literally shake the ground. It's an insane experience from the stands, but you also get to go through the pits. Every ticket's a pit pass, so you can walk around, meet your favorite drivers, watch our teams pull the cars apart and put them back together in less than 75 minutes. So it's a once in a lifetime experience for real.
That is so cool. This is Charlotte, of course, motorsports town through and through. You feel something different here?
Yes.
Yeah. What is it, Ron?
The first race we had at Z-Max was, of course, we're in NASCAR country, right?
Right.
And I'll never forget walking through the pit area, John Force, and it's normal for us because every ticket you buy is a pit pass, like Maddie said. So the interaction's great with the fans. It's always been that way. But the NASCAR fans didn't get that. Their drivers in NASCAR go from the pit area to their buses or their coaches, and you don't see them very often. So, I mean, I remember walking through the crowd to go to an autograph session, and I just heard people behind me whispering like, "Oh my God, that's the driver right there." And so it was very, very surreal for the fans. But once they got the feel for what NHRA is all about, it was very cool, and it always packs them in, so it's a great race.
Yeah, so cool. This format adds kind of a layer of chaos,
Oh,
doesn't
gosh.
it? Right? You
Yeah.
just can't run your own lane. How does strategy change when there are 4 cars?
It changes big time. You know, if it's really cold out or really warm out, you might see cars smoking the tires or pedaling or whatever it might be. But usually when you're running two cars, you can hear what the other guy's doing. You can see them. You're pedaling to get back on the gas, but you can kind of hear and see where they are. Versus 4-wide,
you might be able to see the car next to you, but you don't see the other 2 cars that are across the way. So it adds a big layer that you don't really see anywhere else. And this is the only 4-wide on the tour. This is the one time a year we get to race 4 wide, 48,000 horsepower at once. It's going to be insane. And like you mentioned, it just kind of changes the driver's mindset a little bit. So I think it's really, really a cool event.
Matt, I got to say, what brought you into drag racing?
Well, my family's been in the class alcohol funny car for over 40 years, and I got a late start to drag racing. I started at 8 days old.
Oh,
so.
That is late.
Yeah, super late start, right? But
Yeah.
I've been in it my whole life.
That's so cool. What, you're chasing your 5th win here, Ron? Is that right?
Am I? That's
right?
cool.
Yeah, your folks
I know I won here a lot. I love winning here, but yeah, I didn't know it was that many.
What is it about this track that, or this event specifically, that makes you keep coming back?
My teammate Chase Elliott and Mr. Hendrick, been teammates with him for a long time. I just feel like it's got a lot of friends in the NASCAR world, and I just always felt like when we got into town, it was just a little bit of mojo that maybe extra. That I felt like, and our fans, the fans are second to none. I mean, they are so up on top of what's going on, and they're so educated that it's fun. It's a lot of fun when you get fans and you walk out to sign autographs, like Maddie knows now, and sometimes there's a dad, a grandfather, and a grandson, and 3 generations. And the dad had brought the son at one point, and now they're bringing 8 or 9 or 10-year-old, and that was me growing up. So it's a very cool moment. And of course, Maddie, the first race she was at, there was all these little girls lined up that were enamored with her, and her telling everybody you can't dream small enough. I mean, you can dream all you want, and you can get to this point. So the fans are the best.
Yeah.
And it's a great track for us.
One of the hardcore fans / experts is right next to you, Miss Carlene Bragg. Big fan, forever and ever, right?
I've been to 4 wide. It is a different kind of loud. And it's a different kind of shake. I've been to plenty of NASCAR races. It's a different feel.
Yeah.
Your whole body shakes. It's wild.
Makes your sign of your nose water like good horseradish.
Oh, okay. All right. That sounds very sexy. All right. NHRA celebrating 75 years of racing. What do people need to know for your event?
Oh, great point. Yeah, I forgot it's 75th anniversary.
Huge deal. And we've got tons of legends coming out every single race to celebrate the 75th anniversary. So lots of really exciting stuff. We've got scheduled autograph signings. You can find those on all of our social media channels every day. Excitement. Ground shaking.
And the trophy. What's the trophy
The
again?
Diamond Wally. The one and only 4-wide Diamond Wally this year.
Coveted Diamond Wally. Yeah. Even the name says it.
75th anniversary.
All right. Appreciate you guys, because I know you guys are running around town and promoting the event. It sounds like it's going to be an amazing time. Ron Capps, Maddie Gordon, thanks for coming in here to the Live Impact studio on WCNC Plus. We will see you in April, and check them out if you've never been. Sounds like it's quite a ride. I'm going to have to check it out myself. Yeah. And that's going to do it for us today here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. 11 o'clock. Charlotte Today is up next. Have a great day.